You're not getting enough opportunities from LinkedIn, and a lot of the time, it's because your profile is not set up to do business. Founders who generate leads from LinkedIn don't treat it like a CV. They treat it like a landing page. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to set up your LinkedIn to maximize the chances of getting opportunities and so that it actively brings you opportunities and leads. At Lever Brands, we've scaled to over $3 million in revenue. Our content has reached more than 500 million people. We have worked with founders from the age of 17 to 65 and have built personal brands from scratch. The pattern is always the same. The ones generating real business opportunities treat their LinkedIn like a landing page. This is what that means. Before I jump into this, I want to zoom out for a second because your LinkedIn profile doesn't exist in isolation. It sits inside a 3-layer ecosystem we call the personal brand ecosystem. Layer 1 is attention, getting seen by the right people. This is where your content, your outbound, and your online presence generates you an audience. Layer 2 is nurture, turning that attention into trust. Things like your newsletter, your lead magnets, and your website. Layer 3 is monetization, converting that trust into revenue. Your profile sits at the intersection of all three. It is what someone lands on after your content grabs their attention. It is also the mechanism that pulls them from your social media platform to your email list. And if set up correctly, it starts doing the work of conversion before you've had a single conversation. This is why getting it right matters so much. Let me show you what that looks like in practice using my friend and client's account, Rohan Sheth. Rohan is a serial entrepreneur and the founder of GrowRev. When we started working with Rohan, he had around 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. He had great credibility and an incredible track record, but he had no visibility on the platform. His profile wasn't converting because his content had no system behind it. 9 months later, he hit 100,000 followers, but the follower count was not the point. The point was what happened to his pipeline. I'm going to talk you through exactly how someone comes across your profile using Rohan as an example and taking you through the journey the average person on LinkedIn has. Before anything, you need to understand how someone actually lands on your profile. Typically, they're not going to look you up directly. What they'll do is scan the LinkedIn feed until a piece of content attracts them. The first thing they'll see is your headline. This sits right next to your name and picture in the feed. If the headline makes sense to them, they will click through and check your profile. Once they get to your profile, the first thing they'll see is your banner. Then they'll scroll down, they'll see your full headline, about section, services, featured, experience. Every single one of these is a decision point to stay or leave. I'm going to walk you through every touch point in that exact order and how you can optimize it yourself. Your headline is the first thing someone reads. It follows you everywhere on LinkedIn and most people completely waste it. The most common mistake I see in headlines is being too vague. Something like leadership coach, or I help people reach their full potential, or founder, entrepreneur, speaker. None of these tell me who you are and how you can help me. They don't allow me to imagine the outcome. I would read that and simply move on. What you want is a headline where your ideal client profile, your ICP, will read it and think, you know what, that's about me. I really want to learn more about this person. That is the objective you are trying to create. The formula is simple. Start with who you help and then add on the specific outcome you can help someone achieve. When we repositioned Rohan, his headline stopped describing his job title and started speaking directly to the person he was trying to reach. It told them exactly what he did and what they would get from following him. That single change affected every impression his name made across the platform. Note how intricate it is and how much value it offers. Here are examples of some other great headlines. The single test I run for every headline I review is simple. Can you read it easily? Can you understand it immediately? Do you know who the ideal client profile is? And do you know what problem you can help solve? If you can't, your headline won't work. Next is your profile picture. It is one of the most underrated part of your profile. It is literally the first visual impression someone has of you before they even read a single word. It should be a clean, approachable picture, maybe with your brand colors in the background. What you don't want it to be is a picture from your graduation 10 years ago or a picture of you and your mates at the pub. This is a very small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Once someone's clicked through your profile, they get to the banner. They are now on your profile. This is the part that kills me every time I look at a founder's profile. I usually see some generic company logo, some stock photo of mountains, or a motivational quote. All of these do the exact same thing. Absolutely nothing. Your banner has one job. It is to funnel that visitor to one specific place. The best banners combine three things. Number one, an explanation of what you do and how you can help someone. Number two, a clear call to action. For example, sign up to my newsletter below. And number three, credibility and authority signals, logos of brands you've worked with or publications you've been featured in. Let's look at Rohan's banner and how that works. As you can see, his main objective is to get people into his newsletter where he can continue to nurture you and segment you until you are ready to buy one of his various offers. His banner immediately communicates who he is and what step he wants you to take. Let's take a look at another example from Eric Partaker. Eric smartly rotates between two banners depending on if he's in a conversion phase or in a growth phase. If he is simply in a growth phase, he will push you to his newsletter. If he is selling his CEO accelerator, he will push your attention to a landing page for that product. Chris Donnelly's is another strong example. When he is pushing his Creator Accelerator program, he has a banner showing that information. When he is focusing on selling his SaaS product, Searchable, the banner will change so that people can go in that direction. The banner is not the place to list everything you offer. You shouldn't confuse your audience. Remember, they have only read your headline, seen your profile picture, and are now looking at your banner. There's no point confusing them with various offers and destinations. Now the member of audience has seen your banner. Next, they'll scroll down. The first thing they'll see is your full headline. Use that as an opportunity to add additional information for your ICP. Then they get to the About section. Most founders write the About section like it's a CV. They tell us where they went to school or their career history. Nobody is reading that. The most common problems I see is not explaining who you are through some storytelling, not telling people what you can help them with, not addressing any of your ideal client profile's pain points. If you do not have any of these, your About section is useless. It should speak directly to the frustrations of your ideal client and give an idea of next steps they can take to work for you. Let's take a look at Rohan's About section. When we started working with Rohan, his About section was very vague. If you look at it now, it revolves entirely around the pain points of his ideal client profile. Use this structure when you're trying to write your About section. It will work every time. Start with the problem, the thing your ideal client is dealing with right now, then tell us about your solution, then give us the proof, number, case studies, and why we should listen to you. Finally, give them a clear call to action of where they can go if they want to work with you. Rohan's About section now speaks directly to founders and marketing leaders who are sitting on a strong track record but not seeing that translate into inbound. It opens with their frustrations, it earns trust through his proof of $300 million in ad spend and 200 companies he's supported, and it ends with a clear next step. In our LinkedIn Starter Pack, we have an About section generator that will help you create your very own About section. Grab that in the description below. The Services section is where you can list exactly how people can work with you and they can inquire directly about your services. You can also use this as a place to put some client case studies and testimonials. However, I personally prefer to put that information in the featured section or on a landing page. Sitting right below the About section and the services is your featured section. Most founders either leave it empty or pin their top performing posts. This section is the most valuable real estate on your entire profile. It is the highest value conversion tool you can make use of, and almost nobody uses it properly. This is what it should include. First, you should have a lead magnet, a PDF, a guide, something that you're giving your audience member for free in exchange for your email. This is how attention becomes a lead without you having to be salesy. The lead magnet should be based on a problem or a pain point your audience struggles with, and they need to think to themselves, I need this right now and I'm willing to give Rohan my email. Another idea for your featured section is linking your newsletter landing page. You can also use the link in bio field to add your newsletter there so it can appear to people on the feed too. Next, attach case studies or social proof. Put in a PDF of companies you've worked with similar to the profiles you are trying to attract. When someone lands on your profile, it should look like it's been tailored for them. Once someone's come across all these items, they then see your content. Your profile is only half the picture, the other half is the content you're creating. The two have to be consistent with each other because they work side by side. If you post a piece of content and someone lands on your profile and it's about something completely different, that person won't successfully move from layer 1 to layer 2 of your ecosystem. Let me show you what changes when you put all of this together effectively. Rohan came to us with 2,000 followers and a profile that wasn't converting. The content was okay, but there was no positioning or system underneath it. More importantly, his profile and content were not telling the same story. And so we rebuilt the profile from the ground up. The headline was repositioned to speak directly to his ICP. The banner has one clear call to action pointing to his newsletter. The About section opens with pain points and closes with proof and next steps. The Featured section has all his important destinations like his newsletter and his lead magnets. And finally, the content strategy was aligned with the positioning of the profile. 9 months later, he grew to 100,000 followers, but more importantly, he's been getting qualified inbound leads every single week. The profile did the work before the conversation even started. This is how a profile and a content system work together to do their job. You can implement all of these things yourself by grabbing our LinkedIn starter pack in the description below. You'll get every framework, every template, every tool completely free. See you in the next one.